Well, let me welcome you to our series of interactions by telling you who I am. My name is Christopher Kolade, and I've been a member of faculty in the Lagos Business School, and now I am Pro-Chancellor, Chairman of the Governing Council of the Pan-African University. But because we interact in this university atmosphere, I still share insights and knowledge with people, and so I've been called upon to facilitate this series on leadership, and I'm glad to welcome you to the series. Today we're going to discuss the leader's activities. What does a leader actually do? Because we have already agreed that leaders lead people. Now, the most important activity that a leader should be focused on is what kind of people will be on his or her team. Because it is when you have the right people working with you that you can be sure that whatever programs or activities you're engaged on can be well managed. So the leader first has to choose the right people on the team. And this is critical, because if you get it wrong, it means that some of the activities will not happen as they should. And it is very important in choosing the team that the leader focuses on what activities, what tasks each individual is meant to handle. People should be chosen into team membership not on any criteria like, oh, we like this person, or this person is a good person. Good has to be defined in terms of good for the purpose, good for the task that the person is going to do. So let's assume that we have chosen our team, making sure that the right people are the ones that end up on the team. Now, the first time you get a team together, the leader must be able to tell the team what actually the mission is. What are we here to do? And indeed, the leader should coordinate the thinking of members of the team into deciding where do we actually want to go, where do we want to be sometime in the future. This is why such emphasis is put on visioning, developing a vision. So for instance, if you were setting up a business, say a business to market stationery even, now you know that the activity is that you're going to find some material which you will put together and try to sell to some people. But you also want those people to have a certain concept of your business. Is it a business they want to relate with only on a one-off, or is it a business they want to go on relating to on an ongoing basis? Therefore, say in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, what do we want this business to look like? That is what we call developing a vision. It's fine for the leader to have his own thoughts about a vision, but it is always better to bring the people together in a team and discuss this with them, and then say, right, we agree that our vision for this business should be that in 10 years' time, we will be the stationery store of choice in this city or in this nation. That's our vision. Having developed the vision together, and the leader having articulated that vision and made sure that everybody who should know the vision knows it, the next thing that the leader must do, that is the third activity now, is that the leader must allocate to each individual a role in the organization. Now you notice I have said a role, and and I didn't say a job. We tend to look at places on a team as jobs, but in fact you will discover that the job, for instance, of selling paper to somebody, that is an activity, but the role requires that you should also try to encourage the person going to buy this paper from you to actually want to buy. You should also be able to understand what kind of paper this person is looking for what purpose, what's their objective, why do they want this, and how do they want it to look. In other words, you develop a relationship, not just a job, but a role which says, I want this person to have the best paper they need for their own purpose. So the leader must allocate to individuals the roles they are to play on the team. And once you allocate those roles, then each team member performs according to what the role demands. It is then the job of the leader, the fourth activity of the leader, is to monitor that performance, to make sure that people are doing what they ought to do, and if they're doing what they ought to do, to let them know that they are, and if they're not, to let them know that they're not. Monitoring performance actually means that you've appointed the right people to these roles. They understand what they're supposed to do. You've discussed with them and agreed what results they're meant to produce. They have committed to producing those results, and now you want to monitor how they do. Monitoring performance is very important because the person performing a particular task or occupying a particular position is so consumed with getting it right that they may not be able to stand back from time to time and assess, how well am I doing this? So you can understand perfectly that people may not be able to assess their own performance as expertly as they ought to. This is why the leader must always monitor performance and make sure that performance is still in conformity with the agreement that we had when the role was given to the individual. Now, when you monitor performance, you do not keep the information to yourself. Providing feedback to the people who are playing the role is just as critical as monitoring the performance. Providing feedback serves several purposes. First, it gives information to the role player that indeed things are going in a certain way, either true to promise, or if there are variances, we know what they are. Monitoring performance and providing feedback also serves to strengthen the performer of the role. Because if he's doing well and he's told he's doing well, guess what? He will try to do, at least to continue doing well. If he's doing not so well and he's given the illustrations of the gap between where he ought to be going and where he is, it will encourage him to do better. In other words, providing feedback is something we must not omit. Many people think that the yearly appraisal of performance is sufficient for this. But in fact, if you think about it, the leader of a team must be able to communicate with that team on a daily basis. It should not be left only to the formal occasions when we say, right, we're going to do our annual appraisal exercise now. Even the ad hoc appraisal, even the appraisal that says, oh, I watched the thing you did yesterday and I thought it was good, carry on the good work. That is a big encourager, especially for those who do not have the supreme confidence that they are already doing well. So providing feedback to members is very important. Now you notice that in all of this, we have put the emphasis on the relationship between the leader and his people. Very important for us to stress again, leadership must always be people-focused. One must always remember that the best way to operate leadership is to make sure that the people you're leading have the best feedback from you at all times. Now, there are three other things I would like to mention. The first is that as we build a team, we talk about team spirit, we also talk about team culture. Now, the team culture is the one that tells us how the team interacts within its membership, but also how the team interacts with people outside the team. Now, it is not possible for team members to treat outsiders well if they don't treat each other well. So, team culture is very important in that respect. Develop a positive team culture and it's likely to give our team the right image. This means that we must care about one another. Particularly, the leader must be concerned about individual members of his team. He should always try to make sure that nothing that can be managed is allowed to go without being attended to, because that will affect performance. And finally, the leader must know that all the members of the team should have a chance of being developed into future leaders. In other words, leadership should try to replicate itself, not point by point, but say, right, if this person needs to be a leader tomorrow, let's give them some preparation for it now. Let's do leadership development. And we can do this by, if you have a team in which you will always play the leadership role, one day delegate that role to a member of the team and let the member of the team do a leadership activity in a limited unit of activity to develop their leadership capacity. So just to summarize, choosing the team, deciding who comes on the team, articulating and communicating the vision, allocating roles to individuals, monitoring their performance, giving them feedback, shaping the culture of the team, caring for individual concerns, and developing other people into leadership. Those are the central activities of a leader. And I hope that you find this something you can apply as you try to develop your own leadership.